right, welcome everybody to another Tech Wizard Wednesdays. It was going to be Tech Tuesdays, but this is what fits my schedule. I'm glad we got a couple participants with us today. Today, we're going to be covering the bare bones introduction to ChatGPT, what it is, how to sign up, how to use it, what are its different features. This is going to be pretty exciting because this is going to unlock a door that, as I think you're going to see, has just unlimited potential and capabilities to it. So let's kick off with what is ChatGPT. They're very big topics, and so I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. Artificial intelligence, right? This is the big buzz that's going around. If you heard about it last year, just you wait. This year is going to be full center attention globally because of what it is all coming out and the capabilities of this thing. So know the difference between these simple terms. Artificial general intelligence. So artificial general intelligence is basically the ability of AI to be able to learn on its own. This is not possible right now. This is not what we are interacting with when we use ChatGPT. Artificial general intelligence, there's different projections of when this is going to happen in 2 years, in 10 years. It's definitely coming up soon. And essentially, once that happens, AI is going to exponentially, it already is exponentially, but it's going to explode in its capabilities. And this is what all the sci-fi movies warn us about and all that. That is not what is happening right now. What is happening right now is called a language model. And so what we're dealing with ChatGPT is they literally went and copied the entire World Wide Web. Every web page, every link, every file, everything was copied and fed into a language model. So a huge data set that this language model was able to start organizing and start learning from. And what was really fascinating was when they gave it just a little bit of data, it produced really crappy results. It kind of sucked. But when they threw the whole internet at it, all of a sudden it was producing coherent answers, and they started being able to be really shocked at what it was saying. Now, I confirmed this just hearing a recent presentation on ChatGPT, but as of right now, they still don't know how it is predicting the next letter in the sentence of the word in the sentence that it's producing. So we'll see what the capabilities are pretty soon, but just know as of right now, they don't know how it works. They know that it does work, it's producing amazing results, and that it's rapidly growing and getting better. And just think that this language model of ChatGPT is very use case specific. So think of a toolbox. This is one tool inside of that toolbox that is producing results with ChatGPT. Google now has a language model. They call it Gemini. Microsoft actually partnered up with ChatGPT and OpenAI, so that's incorporating into that. But there's different language models being developed all throughout the world right now. ChatGPT and made by OpenAI, they're the biggest, best, and the forerunner right now with their language models, but there's other great ones out there that you can play with. ChatGPT has a free version right now and a paid version. I'm going to talk about what those are. I just wanted to make sure that you understood the difference between artificial general intelligence, which is hypothetical and it's not really here yet, and these language models, which are specified tools. So ChatGPT, I'm going to give you just a look at what it is, and then we're going to walk through how to sign up for it. This is it. All it consists of is a chat box that you're able to interact with it and say, hello, what can you do? Right? Very simple interface, but then as you can see, it is predicting the best possible response of what you do. Based upon that large language model that we talked about, it's able to predict the best possible sentence and paragraph and the response. So that's what it does. It does it lightning fast. And so you can pretty much in real time now have these conversations. And later on, we're going to talk about the features and capabilities of what we can do with this. But first, let's just start off with how do you sign up for this thing? So know that there are two versions essentially, a desktop, and that's what you just saw right when I just a moment ago. And then there's the app. And the app has its own unique features. The desktop has its own unique features. So because we're now moving into the new year, and this is going to be a mass adoption of this because these things are going to be showing up in social media. Facebook has their own, Instagram's going to have their own. All these things are going to be showing up in people use their phones already. And so this is the mass adoption is essentially going to be happening this year, and then things are going to get, normalized. So you're here learning, as kind of forefront of this so that you can, understand the capabilities of this and how to best use it. So I'm going to switch over to my phone so that we can see how to sign up for this online. Because I think the app has a lot of really great features on it, and I'll kind of about how I use the app and how I use the desktop. I got to switch up my audio so I don't create an echo. All right. I'm going to assume you can hear me. I can see that you can. Great. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So to sign up for the app, which I highly recommend, you'll be going to, this is Android, so you'll be going to your Play Store. Go to search for OpenAI, because if you put in ChatGPT, there are thousands of fake accounts already out there. So OpenAI is the company who created ChatGPT. And so you'll search for that. You'll see the logo. Nobody else should have that logo. You can see the sponsored ad up above it. Don't click that. That's spam. They're basically using ChatGPT to create their own app. You don't want to mess around with those because you'll go to install. I already have it installed on it. So you install it. It'll take just a second. And then you go to open it. And then you will go and want to log in. GPT is the one thing that it requires is, I guess, two things. I guess, and your phone number. These are going to be coded into it, and so you only get a few that you can use this on, but basically this is your one account and it requires that for verification. You do throwaway emails, and yeah, that might be problematic. So sign up. I don't recommend using Google or Apple. Sign up with your email, because then you have that you lose your Google or whatever. You don't want to be signing in with these other companies, third-party companies. So I'm going to log in. I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'll hop back over to it, and then I'll show you what's inside. Hopefully you're downloading this at the same time. I got to dig up my password. Should have had that on hand. I use LastPass to manage all my passwords. Nowadays, you got to have some sort of third party to keep track of all this stuff. All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. All right, so here we are. Welcome to ChatGPT. Here's a couple things. ChatGPT can be inaccurate. So as I said, it is basically making up the best potential outcome of what it's being tasked to do. But just know that fact checked. It's getting better. It's way better than it was a year ago. But don't trust this as fact. You need to be able to verify what it's saying in other ways. Don't share sensitive information. There's a way to turn off privacy or turn on privacy within ChatGPT, so it's not using your information to improve itself. But general blanket advice: don't share sensitive information, emails, passwords, addresses, private information of your family. These things will be absorbed into the language model. I've heard, they can pop up in weird ways. So we'll hit continue here. All right, so as you can see, ChatGPT can now browse the web, analyze data, generate images without the need to switch modes. So I have a ChatGPT 4 account. So the difference between paid and unpaid, I guess I need to talk about that. So ChatGPT has had evolving language models
The one that came out last year that blew everybody's mind was ChatGPT 3.5. And so 3.5 is extremely fast. It's lightweight. It's not as evolved now as future versions. So they are offering that one for free. So anybody can just go to their website, sign up, and just start using that. ChatGPT 4 is the current leading model. Last year, like every weeks, they were rolling out amazing new features, blowing everyone's minds, and able to show what the capabilities are that I'm going to be going through. So for right now, you can play around with some of these simple interactions with it. You know, it can help out with emails. It can help out with Christmas cards. But ChatGPT 4 is like set. So I'm going to show. Let's go to settings first. On the top left-hand side, ChatGPT. There are different GPTs now. There's custom GPTs that you can create. And so I basically was able to clone ChatGPT and then customize it to do individual things. Kind of a loaded topic. I'll do a future workshop on these, on how to create individual custom ChatGPT or GPT. So I'm just kind of over it. But as for an example, though, you can see these are all the Chat GPTs that I've used or have created myself. Right, so I can now jump in, and Days of Christmas was ad card one. I was helping write advent cards for my daughter, Tax Navigator. So instead of just using ChatGPT to answer everything, I'm able to make customized ones. That's all I'm going to say right now about that. Then underneath that is my history, so I can jump back into previous conversations and carry on the conversations from there. Down in the three dots down below, I'm going to pop that open. And this is the settings. Feedback, I don't like it. It makes my phone vibrate when the text happens. Controls, this is where you can turn off that history and training, that it is not taking your information and learning from it. I want it to learn from my information. I'm releasing a right now about the importance, I think, of ethics and using these tools and feeding that information back into the overall set, because this is literally shaping what that potential AI going to be being built with. And so I want it to be input of good guys. If all the good guys refuse to use it, it's only going to be bad guys, in very simple terms. Instructions, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but you can give it custom instructions that it will permanently consider each time it talks. That can be a whole workshop in itself. The subscription, as you can see, I'm a ChatGPT Plus. You can only to plus the desktop, so I'm just going to skip that for now. Speech. This is what makes ChatGPT app so cool. So you can choose a voice, confirm that voice. I like that. Cool. And then let's see, that's about it of what I wanted to show you in settings. So once you have voice set up, now on the bottom, because I have ChatGPT 4, I can take a picture, and ChatGPT 4 can analyze photos. It's extremely good at being able to see what is in the photo. You can ask it questions about photos. I can mimic photos because it also has image generation capabilities. So that second one from the left, that is a photo from, well, let me just demonstrate. So that's going to pop open my phone. This was dinner last night. What is this? It was delicious, by the way, as you can see, right? Tastes the rainbow. This is a photo of stir-fried dish that includes a variety of colorful vegetables, such as broccoli, purple cabbage, carrots, and possibly some onions and other vegetables, all sauteed together in a pan. Cooked tender, still vibrant, right? That's pretty detailed, right? Just from a photo. So photo capabilities are incredible. I've seen people take pictures of their bike and ask, how do I lower the seat? I can't figure this out, and it will walk you through what it sees. So again, back to the menu. Then there's the file system. This has a data. Let's see, it's called a data analyzer, I want to say. Yeah. You can upload CVS files, spreadsheets, PDFs. You're now able to give data, raw data, to ChatGPT and then talk to it. This came out, they were the first ones to do it. This was probably about 6 months ago. It blew everybody's minds. Now it's getting kind of commonplace, but in taxes, for business, there's so many uses for this that I'll get to soon. So you just hit message, right? This is where you can interact and say, do it and ask it to do things. To the right of that is that little waveform, and this is where I can hit it. Hi, I'd like for you to be able to do some research on upcoming trends for the season. Oh, dang it. My phone audio is being used for the Zoom call. Just see. That might be a problem. Because what I wanted to show, so it would capture a voice memo and then be able to translate that into text, and then you hit go and you're on the go. I like to talk. It's much easier to talk than type for me. So being able to just jam that text in there and interact with that. But the coolest feature of the app is, I wonder if I can, let me see if I can change a setting in first.
All right. Mm-hmm. All right, I switched to my desktop audio, and then hopefully this will now. All right, will you share with me some marketing trends of of how many people went to amusement parks? Converts it to text, super fast, super easy. Then you're able to input it. But on the bottom right-hand corner is the assistance, that voice that we connected. Check this out.
Well, hello. I'm really excited about teaming up with you, and I'm all set to dive in. So how can...
All right, I need a story for my 5-year-old daughter that involves unicorns and fairies, and make sure that it is appropriate for her age with nothing scary in it. Can you do that?
Sure, let's create a gentle story. Once upon a time, in a colorful world filled with shimmering light and laughter, there lived a group of friendly unicorns and fairies. The unicorns had majestic, sparkling horns, and the fairies had delicate, gossamer wings that glimmered in the sun.
All right, so I got out of that, and now you can see here's, is all the text that it was starting to read. It's actually really good at storytelling. My daughter loves it. You can do choose your own adventures, and it will incorporate moral lessons for your kids, or you need them to clean the room. So as you can see, you can have this interaction with this voice chatbot, and you give me some idea of how models are going to be used in the coming future.
Sure, language models are expected to be used in many innovative ways in the future. They might enhance personalized education by creating adaptive learning material. They could improve healthcare by analyzing patient data and literature for better diagnoses and treatment plans. Business, they'll likely automate and refine customer service, and in creative fields, assist in writing, art, and music composition. Luck.
I lost my screen share.
Sounds like you might be having some technical issues with screen sharing. Try checking your connection and making sure the application or software you're using for...
That's great. What are some skills that I could start learning in order to take advantage of the mass adoption of these language models?
To take advantage of language models, consider learning the following. 1, coding. Understanding programming, especially Python, is helpful as it's widely used in AI and machine learning. 2, data science. Get to know how to work with large data sets, as data is crucial for training and understanding models. 3, machine learning. Basic knowledge of machine learning concepts.
All right. So as you can see, that was my example, right, of capabilities of the app. Has some cool capabilities that the desktop doesn't, like that voice isn't quite integrated into desktop yet, but then the desktop is honestly where I spend most of my time and where I'm able to get a lot more heavy lifting done. That is really good for on the go, on the couch, and you can explore and have these really long, in-depth conversations to go over and come up with a bunch of great ideas. Then I would go to the desk later and desktop and then be able to open that conversation up, grab those ideas, and then start those to use. So next I'm going to switch over to desktop version and show you more of those capabilities. So again, I said, here's the difference between the different models. 3.5. This is fast and great for everyday tasks. So, very, very low level. ChatGPT 4 has a limit of 40 messages every 3 hours. Man, I've been hitting that lately and it's annoying. It can do image generation, website browsing, and then that data analysis, like I said. So, show you image generation right now. An image of group of people at a cafe. All right, so this just happened that now ChatGPT has all these different all in one chat. So before you had to into generation or data analysis. So they really went simplified. This just happened a couple days ago. So as you can see, a diverse group of people at a cafe as requested. I can now put this right, but put them outside. So this is really groundbreaking as far as generation. ChatGPT is using DALL-E 3, what they developed for image generation, and it across the board, it's still the best generation out there. Humans a year ago looked like awful, and now they are much more coherent. Cool thing on desktop, you can't do this on the phone. You come up here to this little information button, and you can then see the prompt that was used to create this image. And so very, detailed. You can now start able to this and have this as a starting place so that you're able to then more granular and get more detailed on these images that you want. And I'm going to do one more real quick. It's pretty cool. So I added in a group of entrepreneurs at a futuristic cafe, and this, I'm able to add in my brand colors into this, and it's able to incorporate that into the style. By default, force you to have diverse people sitting in images. So I had to to get a little bit more balance for what works in my lifestyle. So as you can see, this can get very cool, very fast, and you can then come up and grab this prompt from here, right? So I'm going to be starting local meetups in my town, and I am going to be using some of those photos. Okay. Generation, pretty amazing, as I said. But first, let's segue over to prompts, right? So a prompt is the command that you give the language model. And so this applies across the board, no matter what language model you're using. And so I have a resource of how to create power prompts. Because if I just say a really bland, me with marketing my business, it's going to give rather responses back. Still useful on a surface level, but it doesn't really know what my business is. It doesn't really know techniques that I would like for it to use. It's going to spit out watered down general information about the topic. So created this power prompt so that you can understand how to engineer prompts to get very specific and very high quality outputs with what you're looking for. And it starts off with telling it to act as. So ChatGPT has access to a very large data set, like I explained. And, what I just did with that last prompt, with marketing, it just went and searched that whole data set. But to help it focus, you're going to tell it what you want it to be. So I would turn around and say, act as in marketing. And that would then hone in on that area of data within its full data set and be able to give you more specialized outcomes. So you would say, act as what you want it to be. And then the goal, right? Give me a marketing plan to help me myself for this upcoming for the travel, agencies. That would be the goal, what you want it to accomplish. And then boundaries, a long list of these that I will be giving you guys today for tuning in. As you can see, you're going to then apply boundaries on it so that it produces what you're looking for more accurately. Explain it like into a 10-year-old that simplifies its language so it avoids jargon, metaphors, so stories, and be able to help you understand things. Socratic method, write short sentences, provide historical context that is really what boundaries you want to put on it. And then lastly, what format do you want it to answer in? Right. So for this workshop today, I just grabbed a bunch of information of how to set up ChatGPT, how to create a new account. And I have an outline, and it gave me a very dense content. And then I said, let me condense this into a presentation and that I just have talking points. So that was the format that I was telling it to basically create points. And then that way, I don't have a huge text that I'm trying to sort through. It just grabs me the very simple, basic concepts out of each of those sentences. So as goal, boundaries, format, really crafting and wanting a good outcome. This is a simple process to be able to just take the extra time to define that and be able to a much higher quality outcome. Now, along with that, you're going to get access to, I have a cheat sheet. And so those different areas, you can now, here's a bunch of examples, right, of how you can, some prompts that are examples, right? So act as a fallacy finder. As you can see, I want you to be a fallacy finder. That's act as. Your task is to goal, and to really throw a cherry on top is to add an example into your prompt, right? Because then it knows exactly what you are looking for and it will adapt. It does really good with examples. So for instance, I will suggest an example, and then this is what the boundary any flaws in this argument. You'll get access to this resource. Voice, really helpful for writing, right? You can tell it what type of tone of voice you want it to output. Just a little resource on how to figure out and mimic your own voice. So when you do your own writing, how you're able to feed that as a sample back into ChatGPT, and it will mimic to a pretty close being able to just spit out your voice. Verbs are another good thing to have on hand so that you can help the output of what it's going to be doing. This is just something handy dandy I created in order for you to be able to use this. Now, everybody attending this today, you're going to get access to, just put this together. It's an AI guide. It's going to have a lot of those resources that we've talked about today in it. This is a Notion. You'll be able to, you can bookmark this, jump back to it. And I'm going to be continuing to add a bunch of resources here that you can, to learn and refine from 400 ChatGPT prompts. This is my tried and true method of storing all the great prompts that I've come across in the last year. These all toggle. And so as you come across prompts, as you create your own prompts, you can come in and duplicate this, create your own Notion, duplicate this, and then have an easy way to be able to store these things so that you can come back future and be able to use them again and again. One kind of drawback of ChatGPT is its organizational system. These are all my previous history of prompts, right? And can easily get buried, and it can be difficult to them again. And they did just add the ability to archive them. And so in your settings, you can now go back to your archive list and go back to ones you basically bookmarked. It's not the greatest way of doing it. The phone app does have a search feature on it, so you're able to then, for keywords in that whole thing. The desktop doesn't. I don't know why. It's a huge limitation. So as of right now, I'm going to go and show you a bit more of the features, but this is meant to be just a brief introduction of how to use this thing. Really, you got to just start playing around with it, and you come up with ideas, try it out, and as you see the results, it's gonna, as it has for me, spark more creativity and spark more to use it. Oh, what if I ask it this? What if I to research this? What if I want to be able to this image at it? I've literally thrown images of in my outfit and say, is this appropriate attire for this occasion? And it will give me tailor expertise of my outfit and how I can improve it. I've taken pictures of my living room and asked it for design feedback. So really the capabilities of this thing are wild. At this point, I'll open up to any questions or any areas that I might have glossed over that I could help explain in this workshop while we're here. I just spoke really fast, so best way is to play with it. Hi,
Yeah,
Dan.
hey Joshua, Python coding, I noticed it that it would execute. Did it also help you write code?
Yeah. Not perfect, but you can literally website building is like my extent of code interaction, but you can literally grab code, bring it in and say, how would I change it to do this? And it will change the code and give you the version to copy and go use.
Okay, Python, or does it do that with HTML as well?
You can tell it what type you want it to output and it will convert and yeah, I got into web design after the need for code. And so very basic things like how to resize a video to make it, bigger. I just will jump in there and say, code to make it 25% bigger or something like that. And then it will spit it out. I can grab it and then plug it in.
Hey there,
And
Josh. Just make video as well as images.
cannot do video yet. Well, kinda. One thing I didn't explore were plugins. So OpenAI, who created ChatGPT, they have an open API key that you can get, and so developers have created apps to use with ChatGPT. Those plugins are available within ChatGPT. The short answer is no. ChatGPT cannot do video yet. As you can see here, there's plugins that you can get, have video. This is one thing. It's kind of getting search video in the plugin store, and all these different apps have created ways to create. So that would turn on this plugin, and then you would use a chat model to talk to it. But there's better platforms out there. Pika Labs is one that just rolled out, and Pika.art is what it's called, and it can create would make an image with ChatGPT and then take that image to Pika Labs, and then you can turn that image into a motion, and it will move the image into a captivating, video. And so that's kind of basically where it's at. The technology is just coming out where you can create text to video, and still a little but it made huge advancements just in the last 3 months. So another 6 months, you're going to be seeing all this video all over the place. One use case that I just met with a client about is she has a book written essentially. And so we are going to be creating an illustrative book, her book outline, and she has already collected images that she likes for her book. And so one thing, like I said, you can mimic images, and this is called Super Describe. But you can basically grab images and then duplicate them in here. So for her book, right, she already has all these images that she liked. All I need to do is just come in and be able to grab images that she chose, that she wants, and then I say mimic. It will analyze that original image and then create an image based off of that original one, right? So the capability, like just shortcuts to create a process immensely, being able to just find things that you like and then, those things. And then once it does this, almost done, then you can go to that information button and be able to grab the prompt that the image was created with, right? So I haven't seen it do that before. All right, so your original question, can it do video? ChatGPT cannot, but it's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if, where video is developing right now is it maintain coherency in one scene. And then can you replicate characters? That's kind of industry's at right now of being able to get these things in. So here's just to wrap that loop up. Here's the one that it created. Ooh, that's scary. Similar, right? Very similar. And then you come up here, grab that, and boom, here is your prompt. So I can then grab this and go start a whole new conversation. And then, daylight, deer running across the road, do all sorts of stuff from this point. But you're already starting off with something pretty cool. Any other questions?
Hey, Joshua, the cost of going to the ChatGPT 4 Plus or Pro looks like it's $20 a month.
Right.
Is it like a larger data set, faster processing? What's the story?
Yeah, I glossed over the price. So it is $20 a month. And for me,
Because in beta, wasn't it like $50 or $50 or something?
So it's free. Yeah, free for the 3.5 version, as I said, but the 4.0, the current one, is $20 a month. This is actually a huge money saver because they actually price it by the tokens and the AKA letters that you use. And so all the API developers, they have to pay for every letter that the machine uses. But for users, for us, you get to use it $20 a month, and that's just a flat rate for as much as you can use it. Be in messages every 3 hours kind of thing.
Still have that limitation under the subscription?
Yeah, they had a massive growth last year, and so they're basically just building the infrastructure right in front of it. I imagine that's gonna up and won't really hit it anymore. I use it a lot, and when I'm giving presentations or working with a client, I might be running into it just because I do 3-hour chunks of through use. But as the average user in contact with it, you won't really do that. But if you're developing it for a special use case or developing it for, you're going to be creating an app, that's when you can get direct access to the API and just be able to pay to play based upon no matter how much usage you do.
So is because I'm looking here, is ChatGPT 4 the same as 4 Plus? Or do you get 4 for free and then you add the plus, you get $20 a month?
Yes. The plus means that it's the paid membership basically. And so the current model, that's what you're going to be continuously upgrading and get the first to use. Okay. So right now it's actually using last year they called it ChatGPT 4.0 Turbo is the current model. And so they just released a bunch of new features a couple months ago. And so that's kind of where it's at. And I'm sure it's going to be upgrading here.
How do they, on the feature release, if you have a subscription, they just have an area that lists all their new features when they're coming out with the next version and all that?
Yeah, constantly. Here's their blogs, latest updates.
Okay.
Had a dev announcement I think it was in November, so months ago, and they rolled out all these new features. And yeah, they are funded by Microsoft, and so they have basically an unlimited checkbook. They just got $10 they are the forefront of development, and as a paid member, you get to access to these things first. And so once you start using these, right, images and then the data analyzing of files and spreadsheets, there are limitless ways in order to make that $20 back each month.
Yeah. And a message, when it says here, you're limited 50 messages every 3 hours is what I'm reading.
Yeah.
The message, just anytime you type a message in that little bar and you hit enter, and then if you just do a slight modification, is that another message?
Correct. So once you hit that limitation, you're able to then switch over to 3.5. So it will be a more limited outcome, but go grab some lunch like I do, or
open a second account, I guess, but then you would lose your data between the two, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you wouldn't have it all together. Okay.
Right. And I expect them to fix that that.
Yeah, I bet, like you said, over the next few months, 3 to 6 months, that goes away. You would significantly increases.
And then eventually roll out with ChatGPT 5, like 5.0. And so that then might have, more limited availability because of resources. And then 4.0, they just, wide up. So that's just kind of rolls.
Yeah.
Well,
So you noticed when you went to the subscription yourself, you definitely noticed a big difference for you?
for the quality and outcome, absolutely. It's more specialized, it's more sophisticated. Then you get the image, you get the data, you get and then a just more highly specified model that you're working with.
Okay.
Well, I've created a course to like people through these steps. This was just kind of neck breaking speed. It's about a 40-minute course where I go a lot slower and you can just kind of your way through it. Looking for a public home right now. So it'll be coming out. But everybody that is in this meeting right now, watching the replay, you're going to get access to the guide dashboard that I said. Put that in the Zoom chat right now. And then if you're watching the replay afterwards, you can go ahead and link down below. If you sign up to my newsletter, you'll be getting access to this dashboard. It's going to continue to grow and expand as I make more tutorials. This workshop right now will end up in the database so that you get access to this, bookmark it, and then you can just keep coming back and I'll just keep adding resources to it. Well, sweet. Well, this hopefully just opens up the door for you. Now it's time to go play with it and to really seeing how it can accommodate your situation, your life, your career. I use it for kind of areas, planning a trip, if up with ways to play with my daughter, really good at scavenger hunts and coming up with games and helping how to with my daughter, as well as all sorts of stuff. But every area of your life, you'll start to like, oh, maybe I'll go to this. You could go to your phone or your fridge, take a picture of your fridge and ask it to make for dinner using these ingredients. The capabilities are really awesome. I do like it for recipes because if you want a recipe on, cook a roast in an Instapot, you go to Google and then you end up on these blogs that have so much ads, and to that you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom just to get to the recipe. I just whip out my phone and ask ChatGPT, and it spits and it gives me very direct the outline to the recipe of what I need it for. So way you need to fact check things if it says anything funny, but for the most part, you can use that as a lean on to make just about any dish. Well, thanks everybody for joining me today. This was fun. I'm going to be doing these each week, Wednesday. So if you have a topic that you want to explore, I'm happy to, what I know. And in doing so, I'm creating these resources so that people can learn faster and take advantage of these things. If you want to work with me on a business level, we can apply this powerful tool to your business. And so I'm able to help you create business strategies, marketing, and down all the way into helping you with offers, helping you with your audience research, and then how to create content, newsletters, make offers to your audience, and help information out in your offers on social media. So contact me if you're interested in working on that capacity. And then otherwise, I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Joshua.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Bye.